Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go-to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, this is your space to connect, learn, and grow alongside a community of trailblazing women who, just like you, they are making their mark in the world of business. From personal branding to powerhouse marketing, from leadership to lifestyle tips, we've got you covered. So get ready to ignite your passion, fuel your purpose, and unlock your potential with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. Let's make this journey together and turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Hi, and welcome to The Real Female Entrepreneurs. Our next guest is the CEO and founder of StillFire Healing. You know what? She combines her rich educational background, personal journey of healing, and an expertise in energy medicine to empower women to nurture their body, mind, and spirit. With her dedication to holistic wellness and a passion for guiding others to sustainable self-care, help me celebrate this extraordinary healer and visionary, the incredible Roshni Sharma-Fleming. Welcome.
Thank you, Angel. I'm so excited to connect with you here today. I'm so honored as well to be a guest on your show. So thanks again.
Yeah. So, I like to just jump right on in. So what inspired you to become the amazing female entrepreneur you are, especially in the industry you're in? Something had to happen.
Something had to happen, and many things happened. And one thing that we all had in common was COVID. COVID happened. And COVID was a very dark time for people, including myself. One of the most beautiful aspects about COVID is because it was showing us so much darkness. I was always seeking outside of that, seeking light, seeking positive things throughout my day, digging deep into self-care and self-love, making decisions that helped my family to stay healthy, but then also really sustained us throughout the pandemic. So COVID was one of the main things that launched me into my business. And a second thing is during that time, I was also felt very ill, and illness to the point of life and death. And during that time, I was shown that, first of all, it's a choice. That choice is a huge component to wellness. If you choose to be well, you think well, you will be well. And Louise Hay has done massive amounts of research on these with these affirmations. If you think well up here, you will be well down in here. Okay. And so during that time when I decided that it was not my time, it's not anybody's choice but my own, I started to open up my healer's gifts. And one of the gifts that I was given was self-advocacy, number one. Number two, the ability to tap into my own energy so that I could bring beautiful energy back into the body because so much was being taken from me. Number three, I was choosing foods that were uplifting, that sustained me, that helped me to breathe better, to look better, even though I was shown, continued to be shown a lot of darkness. So during that time, I was able to scaffold a holistic healing journey with the gifts that I had been given: EFT, Reiki, writing. I started journaling a lot, which is, again, another healthy practice that I use even to this day. And so the darkness from COVID, the darkness from illness, and a really good kick in the pants from the universe to say, you know what? You need to go somewhere else. So I retired as an elementary school teacher and French professor to start my business because of all this darkness. I was being pushed to something else, and I can't even describe it other than that I was being pushed like somebody. It was almost like, go, it's your time. So that's how I basically started my journey and continue today.
That is an amazing story. So you physically, like literally retired and
Yes.
just went straight forward, straight into your business.
Yes,
and started
ma'am.
getting all the certifications and practitioners. Oh my word, I love it.
Yes. And this is the beauty of especially women. We are able to transform at the drop of a hat if we cultivate the right circumstances around us, but we have to believe in ourselves, which I did.
And that was the key. I mean,
Yes.
I believe all female entrepreneurs have to believe in themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
And they have to, and if they don't take the push, at some point they're going to get a kick in the rear end.
Yes. I love that. Either you take the push or somebody's going to kick you. And it did. And it physically and viscerally felt like that. I will never forget that feeling. But when I did, I felt like I was flying. I felt like I was flying. Yeah.
So going from being a school teacher, having a very rigid schedule, I'm sure, having a family.
Yes.
How are you working on balancing your personal life now and family life with now being an entrepreneur?
Yes. I'm going to tell this very truthfully. I love being a mother. I love it. It's not an easy job. It brings you to your knees. Sometimes when I'm journaling, I'm bawling my eyes out because I just have so much going on. But motherhood is another extension of the female essence. Motherhood, even if you are not a mother to your own child, that ability to nurture something or someone is there, and that's across every woman. And motherhood to me is a gift, a very challenging but rewarding and beautiful gift. I'm very thankful that that little son of mine chose me as his mom. So when it comes to balance for me, one of a few priorities that I do, especially in our household, is that I always prioritize good food, take time. A lot of my creative energy goes into cooking. Yes, I actually really love to cook. And that's how that's one of my love languages, is that I love through food. Yeah. And so I prioritize that very much on a regular basis. I'm not saying I don't order pizza. We ordered pizza on Wednesday because I was like, I don't know what to cook. I'm tired. That happens too, right? There's the balance. You have to get real with yourself in order to balance. You can't say, hi, everything's okay. It's not. If you're tired and if you have like a can of soup and you want to order a pizza, that's what we did. And that's okay too. You can't be perfect and balanced all the time. Sometimes you're going to go on this side and sometimes you're going to go on this side. But that yin yang is a cosmic dance on a daily basis. The balance to me also is coming from really, really deeply cultivated self-care and self-love practices. If I didn't walk, yoga, meditate, laugh, dance, all of these softer skills that are needed in order to balance your energy, I couldn't do what I was doing. I couldn't help other people. So when it says, that cliche statement, which is very powerful, but it's still fill your own cup, absolutely is absolutely necessary in order to balance the demands of your business, because then you can think clearly. Organization is a really key component as well for me. Balance and balancing out what your immediate goals are and revisiting those goals. If, like on Wednesday, I have a few things that I always do. I didn't get to it. I just couldn't. So I did everything on Thursday. So flexibility also lends itself to a beautiful balance as well, because you're not rigidly trying to finish everything like this. It's too tense, too tense.
The time management skill that you just mentioned is a really important key thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I usually do an arrow going forward if I did not finish that task, and just move it to the next day or a day that's going to work.
Great strategy. Yeah. I want to actually try and adopt. That's great.
So everything has an A, B, or C next to it.
Yes.
Okay. For the whole entire month. And then what I do is I take those A, B, C, and D, and I put them in 1 through how many there are on there into their importance. Yes. How important are they, and how important do I need to do them immediately? Yes. And then when I don't get to them, I don't beat myself up, because like you said a minute ago, it's a dance. I draw an arrow. I don't scratch it off. It's just an arrow.
No, exactly.
And it flows to the next page into the dance.
Yes. And without the thinking, the guilt, I didn't do it. I didn't finish it today. It wasn't a good day. No, you are empowering yourself by saying, you know what? That physical empowerment from going from here and just moving it to here. Very simple and very, very powerful when it comes to making choices for yourself that can sustain you over the long haul of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Otherwise, that guilt just eats you up. Correct? As a healer, you understand that one.
Yes. Those negative emotions, they still come up. Healers go through that. That's why we become and alchemize the emotions that we go through, and you still go through them, but we cultivate practices in order to transmute those so that they don't lower our vibrations. And everybody can do that, not just us, right? It's not an us versus them. We're all capable of doing that. It's just a matter of training.
Yeah, I agree. That's it. It's all training. How are we training ourselves?
Yes.
So women that are thinking about becoming a female entrepreneur and they just haven't done it yet, they know they want to start something. They just don't know what to do yet. What would a tip or a suggestion that you have for them?
I think the main thing first is to cultivate self-love and self-care practices, very foundational practices that can help you, because the journey is not easy. It is not an easy journey, and anyone who tells you it's easy is lying. It's not easy. But those foundational practices on really, really crazy days, you can return back to that because your soul has attached itself to it. Not in a negative way, that your soul feels like, oh yeah, she's going to look after me. I picked this body for a reason. Oh yeah, she's coming back. That's very, very key. Second thing is find your vibe tribe. People who are mirroring your energy, people who can find upliftment in you and you can find upliftment in them. So you're mirrors for each other. That is also a very key component. You can't do it all on your own, and don't be afraid to ask for help, right? Asking for help, especially as a woman, especially if you're hyper independent like I was, is not easy, because then you're showing vulnerability. But if you can find a tribe that you can be vulnerable with, it'll be better for you in the long run, because you are establishing a safety network of other women who can help you. We are not meant to do it all alone. North American culture has taught us that, if you're really super independent, you're really strong and powerful, you can do everything on your own. But in tribal culture, tribes, people together, women together, councils, indigenous and also healing circles, all of this, we're meant to do it in community. Whether your community is 30 people or 3, find them. They will help you to move along on your journey. And also finding stillness is really important. Like being able to sit still and do nothing. I love that. Like I crave that because I'm busy, right? I just enjoy it. And I just kind of veg out, have my herbal tea. Herbal tea is another one. But find stillness. Find stillness. It's very, very important because you can listen to your heart.
So I love the Vibe Tribe. That's got a ring to it like there's no tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's such a true statement.
Yes.
We have to find people that resonate with us and we resonate with them.
Yes, absolutely. And you have, in order to do that, you have to show up as yourself.
That authenticity is the key.
Yes, you have to. Then they can relate to you and say, oh, yeah, you're one of me. You're one of my people. And you do find them. The universe doesn't like spaces. The universe does not like empty holes. If you put yourself out there, the universe will support you. And the universe will say, oh, yeah, here's one. There you go. Here's another one. And it's generous if you can do that.
So what you've learned in business so far, okay, and also in your healing world, what would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
Ooh, my 18-year-old self, get out of your own way. Get out of your own way, because I think I don't do it as much anymore. Sometimes I revert back to it because it's there, and my higher self is telling me to address it. But overthinking, just get out of your own way. If you're overthinking something and it's exhausting you, then just stop. And you have a choice to do it. You have free will to choose that for yourself. Just get out of your own way and really see what's out there for you, and believe that you can, and believe in yourself. Have absolutely no doubts that you are an extension of a beautiful mosaic of this thing called Earth and humanity, that your voice matters, your energy matters, and your presence matters. Yes.
That is true.
That's true.
We definitely need to know those things, because as females, we definitely overthink. We definitely don't think we're worthy. We definitely, and I mean, those statements you've made are just the truth that are deep down in us that we have to dig up and to move forward.
Yes, you have to, and like you hit something very key, worthiness. You know, it boils down to when you are looking at yourself and you're staring at yourself in the mirror, which I do, not in a vain way or egotistical way. I'm just like, okay, you can do this. Like, you know, it's very, very important. Your worthiness can come from your thoughts. Your worthiness can be reframed so that you are lifting yourself up, that you can be your own best cheerleader on a daily basis.
So we're going to talk about resolutions in a minute, but you're leading into that right now. And I'm going to tell you something I used to do, and I'm really thinking about doing it again next year, is that I used to, with red lipstick, write on my mirror my affirmations and goals.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, that was like one of my things I did. And it's not because, you know, you're vain. I did it because I can remember when I looked in that mirror, because you're going to look at that mirror every day.
Yes, absolutely.
The other place is if you're doing Zoom calls or anything, all around your screen that you're on, because you're looking in that camera and you can actually see everything that's going on around you.
Absolutely. I use cue cards because I'm a teacher. You can take the teacher out of the school, but you can't take the school out of the teacher. I have cue cards everywhere. Oh, this one. And that helps me. And sometimes it's sticky notes, you know, different colored stickies, whatever works for you. There's no rule as to say where you write them, how you write them, how you want it to show up in your day. Just do you. Just show up as you, and your soul will be like, oh, there she is. Let's keep going. Right? Yeah.
I think I have to have mine around because I used to own a dance in school. And I used to have like the different step things for the kids to do so that they can remember them all around all the mirrors and everything.
Yes,
so yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Right. And whatever system works, it's your system, right? It'll reverberate with you.
That's it. My husband needs index cards.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah.
Mine needs calendars. He needs lots of calendars, and he writes and like, oh, I'm like, no, not my visual preference, but he does calendars. Everything's in a calendar.
And everybody has different ways of doing it. So,
yes.
I mean, we've just given you guys 4, maybe 5 different ways to think about how to maneuver.
Yes.
Through and have all your stuff. I mean, I even have affirmations inside my calendar to make sure I do them every day.
Yes.
When you open that calendar, it's right there.
Yes. Yes. Whatever works. There's no judgment. There's no guilt or pressure. Do what works for you, because at the end of the day, you are your own, you know yourself best. What works for you. You don't have to show it to anyone. And if you do, that's fine too. That's your own volition. You can show up for yourself in any way you want, in any energy you want, because that's what you want.
Yeah, I'm a Southern girl, and they always say, "Do you, boo?"
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, we do that. We say that here in our city too, but it's just, I love it, right? Just do you. Yes.
They have to add boo down here. They're French.
Yes, I love
You're
that.
French too, you know?
Yes.
All right. So going forward now, what are some tips that you use to plan out your next year?
So some very practical tips is making sure that I find stillness in order for me to stay in a high vibrational flow state. I find stillness, I meditate, and I visualize. I'm a very visual person. We all are, but some of us can actually visualize what we want so that it manifests into our reality. We are not magic. Everyone can do it, but you just have to find the tools that work for you. So my top 3, a few of my tools are sitting in stillness, meditation, envisioning, and then affirming. I'm a writer. Like, I love words. As soon as you write, when you're writing the lipstick stuff, those messages, no matter you write it with lipstick or duct tape, whatever you want to write it on, you commit to it because it's written down. As soon as you write those words down, it's very powerful for you. Very, very powerful. So that's how I work through my goals for myself. Yes.
All right. So now that I know you've probably already started, because I have as well. So do you mind sharing a goal that you have for next year?
Yes, I am launching my season 2 of my podcast of Light Speaks. And it talks about inner and outer alignment, women as divine creators, and holistic and evolving energy medicines. So I've poured my passions into my interest through my podcast, Light Speaks. So launching season 2 in a new and exciting way is one of my goals.
That is going to be fun.
Thank you.
That is going to be a blast. I can't wait to listen to it. I'm like on my listening list now.
Yes, my listening list. Yes, I love that. I love amplifying voices, male or female. It doesn't matter on my podcast. I've gravitated to guests at this time who are female, but I love the co-creation of energy that happens on our podcast, because I am very gifted in holding space for someone who wants to share their story. We are all products of a story, and we are all capable of rewriting our story. So we are absolutely powerful enough to make a choice to become the hero or shero of our own stories. And that's very, very key as a key tool that I want to share on Light Speaks, but then also encourage people to listen to the podcast, because the idea of just teaching people very practical strategies in order to help them evolve, ascend, and just to be a better person. That would be some of my goals for the podcast.
That is amazing, because
Thank you.
goals for a podcast is key.
Yes.
It is. I never realized that, because I was doing interviews just because I wanted to get the content for my people to write the articles. But the podcast just seems to just grow exponentially, and people love it. They love hearing your voice.
They do. And authentic voices too. Like the way we're talking, that's how I sound on my podcast. I put on a French accent, I don't do anything like that. It is what you see is what you get. So the authenticity is a very key component for me, because people need to relate to you and to what's happening in terms of content.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just real. And, I think when people get to see that, they're like, oh, she really is just real.
Yeah, it's a real person. It's not an avatar. It's not anything like that. Yes, I know.
What is one key strategy that has helped you scale your business, either your podcast or anything else, has helped you scale your business that maybe most people would look at and go, that's not going to work?
Yes. I think one of the key strategies is committing to what you want to see for that particular initiative. So committing to it and revisiting it if it's not working, and then retooling it if it needs to shift. Always be ready to adapt. Things shift very rapidly, not in terms of technology, that's a given, but more so, is this really in alignment with what I want to project out into the world? And just retooling that, revisiting that, and reigniting your why is a really, really strong thing for me. Just reigniting that. Why are you doing this? It's really, really important.
Yeah, discovering the why.
The why. Why are you doing it?
Keeps you going. And let's talk about the why that you brought it up.
Yes.
So the why is not what you want.
Yes.
The why really, if you agree with me or not, the why really is who are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Who are you doing it for? What joy is it going to bring? So it's not just a why, it's a why, who, what, where, when, whatever.
Yes, absolutely. And so my why in my podcast is to enlighten people, to teach them that there are choices in alternative medicine and holistic medicine, to also honor the female essence, to examine how a woman, when she's walking her path, can be absolutely empowered as she steps forward into different phases in her life, despite what's going around her in the world. A woman who is safe is a very powerful woman. A woman who has cultivated self-care and self-love practices is a very powerful woman, because we understand inherently that we are worthy. That worthiness word was a big theme for me this past November. The idea of just being worthy enough to make a choice to say, no, that's not going to work for me, or yes, that will work for me. It's in alignment with who I am. And so going back to the why, the idea of just sharing information that's real, that helps to educate, that helps to uplift, especially women's well-being, is a very key component, because we're always putting ourselves perhaps 10th down the list. If we put ourselves first, not in a selfish way, we put ourselves first, I'm telling you, the ripple effects are felt consistently and in the long term as well.
Well, it's like flying on an airplane. What do they say?
Yes.
Take care of yourself first.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I had a friend actually, briefly, she wasn't feeling well. And I was texting her and I just said, how are you doing? She says, I need to go to the hospital, but I need to feed the dog. I have to feed my son. And then I will, in that order, this is a true story. And then I'll go to the hospital. And I said, and I gave her the exact metaphor you just did. I said, did you know about what they tell you on the plane? You put your mask on and then you do the other stuff. She says, ha, ha, ha. Yes, but she didn't go because she needed to go to the hospital. She was on her own. And I said, do you need some help? She didn't ask me for help. So these things, these are like real scenarios of women putting themselves down 9th or 10th. No, you cannot do that. You cannot, because you are going to get run down, burnt out, and it'll be something that is a big lesson that will repeat in your life until you put yourself first, which I have gone through too. Burnout, back, whatever's going on, insomnia. I've gone through all of that. But if you start really helping yourself and supporting the body that you've been given, your soul is going to start flying.
So everything you keep talking about keeps coming full circle. I don't know if you realize this.
Yes.
However, you've also, everything you just said, especially about the friend you just spoke about, one, she had to ask for help.
Yes.
And two, she had her vibe tribe, but she just chose not to ask help from that vibe tribe.
Yes. Yes.
So everything you keep saying is just reiterating that same thing for self-care.
Yes. Yes. And this is not rocket science. I mean, if you had $5,000 to go to Paris and go to a spa there, then go ahead and do that. Some of us don't and cannot do that at this time, right? So what does self-care? Yeah. What does that look like for us on a regular basis? Oh, maybe it means like a 5-minute stretch or a 7-minute nap after finishing work, just to refresh the eyes and just to click out for a while. It might mean saying no. It might mean having an herbal tea or 5 or 10, right? Whatever works, whatever works for you. I had 10 on Thursday. I needed a lot of herbal tea on Thursday. A lot. And so what does that work? What does that look like for you on a practical level? This is a really, really big thing and passion of mine. What does self-care look like on a practical level for women these days? How do you define that?
Okay. All right. So that, I believe, is a struggle for most of us.
It is.
I want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I want to go to the gym, but it's 19 degrees out. There's no way I'm doing it.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't go to the gym. I don't get out at minus 19 degrees. I already know. I already know my boundaries. Nope, not happening. I try, but I'm like, nope, it's not happening.
That's just not the boundary you want to push.
No, I don't want to do that. I already know myself, that.
I know I'm not either. So, I mean, I have to give myself leniency. Okay. So do I want to do yoga or do I just want to do something else? It's okay if you have your self-care down, and it's okay if you have to maneuver it.
Yes. And you just said something. It's okay because you're giving yourself permission. No one else is going to tell you, oh, do you need a manicure today? If you have a husband like that, then keep him until like millennia. But I don't know of any guys that can say, why don't you go would you want a manicure? Go ahead, just give it to yourself if you really need to go, or give one to yourself at home. If you don't want to go out, just do something for yourself at home. Something simple. And simplicity was a big theme for me. My father passed away last summer. And he
All right.
always, thank you, he always said, Roshni, keep it simple, simple, simple. So I try and embody that in my business, in my self-care practices, and in the food that I make, in the friendships and partnerships and collaborations that I have, keeping it simple, because otherwise it becomes a big burden to carry, especially for us gals, for sure.
Yeah, I love the acronym KISS. Keep it simple, sweetie.
Yes. Yeah. He said that in our wedding speech. Yes. Keep it simple. He did.
That is so, I love the reminiscing that from a parent who has passed away.
Yes.
That's always, when I hear those stories, that's just so sweet.
Yes, it is. And that's what it is, right? You transmute the grief, the joy, the terror, the exhaustion, and you transmute it into something that works for you.
So if you had a superpower for one day, just 24 hours, that's all you get in a superpower for. What do you want to be? What superpower are you going to use?
I would like to be a wizard that flies and heals the ecosystems of the planet. That's what I would like to do. Yeah. I love the earth. I love, love, love the earth. We all live here and it needs a lot of help. So I would be a wizard and I would ask for some wings, maybe ask for a few fairies, and go and fix the ecosystems in 24 hours.
Because by the time you heal all the ecosystems, you're actually healing the people.
Amen. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Right? We're all connected to the earth. So if the earth heals, we heal. And if we heal, the earth heals. So it's a good balance.
It is. It is. So what's one fun fact about you that not a lot of people know about?
I love, obsessed with fast sports cars, and I go to auto shows. Yes, and it's a little unusual because I seem to be the only girl in my family who loves cars, but I love cars. I love fast cars. Absolutely. And I love looking at them. I love taking pictures of them. My son has picked up that habit of putting posters of them. And I can also do the moonwalk like Michael Jackson used to do. I can do the moonwalk. Those are my facts. It's true.
Okay. Do you have a sports car?
Do I have a sports car? Close. But my dog Rosie couldn't fit into it, so I had to get rid of it. So
What did you have?
I had an Audi.
Fun, a convertible or what?
It was like the 4-seater, but I didn't want to put like all the kids stuff in it and then the dog and everything, so I had to get rid of it. I had to find a happier medium.
Well, I have the Mini Cooper S.
Oh, perfect. That's a great little car. As for New Orleans, I think it'll be great. Here, minus 19, not very much. I see them, but not good for our winters anyway.
Right. But I mean, people don't realize it has a BMW 5-engine series.
Yes, it does. Yes, I remember that. Now you're talking. You're one of my people. I love that. We can talk cars.
I just wanted it because it was fun and cute. That's all I wanted it for.
Yes. And yes, absolutely. So the engineering for sure is sustainable for you, for sure.
Right, it's way fun. So yeah. All right. Your favorite book?
So I had a multitude of answers for this, but the book that I'm reading right now is something that's really aligned with not only my why, who I am as a woman, my vibe tribe, but the book is called Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She's a PhD. And what she does that's so inspiring, she ties in the feminine wounding to different myths and stories across cultures. And she shows that the dissection of the female soul is very real. And the dissection of the female's energy is very real. And that it's really, really important to reclaim oneself in order to affect change, and especially to affect change not only within yourself, but with other women. So she weaves stories about womanhood through myths, through legends, through real stories. And it's very inspiring. It can be a bit dark, but it is something that she's written so well. And it is a timeless nonfiction book. It's not a fiction book, it's nonfiction. And she has really, really brought to light how much women have suffered because women's energy is actually really, really powerful if it's cultivated well, and if it's honored, and if it's accepted and protected, for sure.
Okay, another book on my list. All right. Cannot wait to read that one.
Yes.
Song. What is your favorite go-to song?
I don't have go-to songs. My songs are chosen based on emotion. So some days I have sappy love songs. I listen to sappy love country songs. I listen to rap, depending on how I'm feeling. Other days it's really, really electronica and a lot of techno, house music. So it depends on how my energy is doing. If I need an upliftment, I really pick fast music so that I can zip around and get my stuff done. But it's really based on my emotions.
Very eclectic in your music. I love
Yes,
it.
I am.
A quote. Do you have a favorite quote?
Favorite quote would be, the biggest flex against not having self-care is deciding you need self-care.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you don't have enough, then decide you need it.
Self-care is the key for you.
It is. It is. It's a big, big lesson for me that I've really embodied and embraced, especially after COVID. Yes.
How do you stay motivated?
Motivation for me comes from eating really good food, surrounding myself with good people, and cultivating my inner garden of wellness up here. So constantly de-weeding all the negative thoughts. And they come up. I'm human. I'm not superhuman. I'm human too. But the motivation can be clouded with darker or denser energy. So take them out. And so that's how I stay motivated. But then also music, like going back to music, surrounding myself with great music really helps. And not in that order. Sometimes I don't need any motivation. I just kind of fly out of bed. The other days I'm like crawling down the stairs going, I don't know if I can do this. So you have to take time for yourself and give yourself space and grace. That's the other way I stay motivated. If it's not happening and you find yourself forcing yourself to do something, it's probably not your day to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it's not your day to do it.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it's never going to get done. It's just probably not your day. That's why I ordered pizza on Wednesday. I was like, well, I'm not making pizza. I can make pizza, but I was not making it on Wednesday.
So what is the best way for our audience to stay connected with you?
Oh, my website is www.stillfirehealing.com. You can reach out to me on Instagram at StillFireHealing888. And I'm also on LinkedIn, which is how we connected, which is fun.
Yeah, awesome. So is there anything else we didn't discuss that you'd like to share with our audience?
For any women who are considering starting a business, just start. The unknown is a really beautiful place to be. Starting your own business will bring up every shadow that you have repressed from this lifetime and in the past. But it is a very healing process. Once you get to a point where you're saying to yourself, you know what, I can do this. I can play with the unknown. So embrace the darkness, because you will find your way. And also, if you're not sure of what you're doing, take a step back. Give yourself permission to step back, because you have a right to do that. That's how you develop the resilience in order to keep your business going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank
So
you.
Roshni, you were a total pleasure. Thank you
Thanks.
for being with us today. Oh my God.
Thank you so much. I'm really appreciating our time together, and I loved how you held space for me. I felt safe, and I felt really, I felt loved, and I'm really appreciating that, and wishing everyone on your end a really happy holiday and a really peaceful and self-loved 2025.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.